Hello, everyone. I think I can never tell these things start. It says 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Okay, I think we started. So, welcome. Here I am. Here's my art table. There went my camera. Wow. Technical difficulties in the first minute of the live stream. That is awesome. All right. The table is back. Let's see my workspace, more or less. Let's see. Tilt down a little bit and tilt away. Wow. Okay. Great, we're back. So, welcome to the live stream. No one's here yet, but any of you watching the playback later on will no doubt will no doubt see this disaster. It's a total disaster. Yeah, I'm Dale, and this is D.Harden Art. I'm doing a splash page for a concept comic. I was teasing at the convention I was at last month. I got the Silicon in San Jose, and then with Adam Savage and I think Wozniak kind of stepped away from it this year. Steve Wozniak was one of the co-founders. And I say co-founders kind of, I don't know, lightheartedly. You see, it was Comic Con, and then those two kind of bought it out from whoever's doing Comic Con, and so it's been Silicon for the past 3 years, I want to say, maybe four. And well, except last year. Last year, of course, they didn't have a convention. And then, funny thing is, this year, Comic Con came back. It was actually the same weekend as Silicon, except it was much smaller. It had a few famous artists there, but obviously more comic oriented. I didn't even know about it. Didn't know about it until after it happened. So yeah, so this is the concept I was teasing. The more patrons I get following Raising Cane, the more funds I can funnel into hiring more people. Right now, it's just me and Anton. I do the writing, the penciling, the inking. He does color and backgrounds and such. I mean, look at that gorgeous, like cloudy background. That's awesome. And I, my brain works on the multiple channels at the same time. I totally forgot there was something else I wanted here, but it's a month later. Anyway, um, so that is what's going on there. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I get these lines that go through my video. I think it's the camera is not liking the LED lights I use here. And so it sort of reminds me of an old timey movie. Kind of weird. And it actually looks worse than it did when I first started. Kind of really strange. But let me know if it bothers anyone. I hope not, because I don't have any other lights. So this is it. So here we go. So yeah, so this was a cover I was teasing. So the more people I can get, if I can hire, say, an inker, and maybe someone else who can do lettering, because I do lettering too. Um, that would be awesome. That'd probably free me up a couple hours a day. Oh, my little picky over there in the corner because I'm holding this. So this is what I'm gonna be working on today. So this is the splash page for the comic. I'm actually still working on the script for issue number one, but I've got the first few pages all set actually. Um, so here we go. The comic course is called FemForce 5, and the first thing you'll probably notice right away is you'll see two guys. So the premise of the comic is that a mad scientist comes up with a virus to wipe out heroes or villains, anybody with a superpower. He's figured out how to find the gene in the DNA, and so he's about to release this virus onto the world. Our superhero team here in Central City is here to stop them. Except, again, the premise of the comic is FemForce 5, so they don't stop him. The side effect is that not side effect, but the effect of the virus is that it doesn't affect females. It doesn't remove their powers, but it will remove the powers of male heroes. um, thus leaving a very interesting dynamic in the world where the men are no longer really hero types. Well, except like someone like this. This is kind of like this world's Batman. He's um, at the moment I call him the Enforcer. Um, a lot of the names are actually kind of still in flux because I'll have a name for a while and then I won't like it and then I'll change it. So her name is Mouse. This is Songbird. At the moment, this is Captain Nation. Kind of a funny name, so it'll change. At the moment, this is Athena. And oh, I see something weird happened when I put the background in. Um, Part of her skirt is missing. And yeah, I've changed her name like 3 different times. She's, yeah, I'm settling on Athena for now, and the Enforcer. So he's kind of like a Batman type. He's kind of like the super detective. He doesn't really have a superpower per se. He's just like a rich guy with uh, with gadgets. So and he's kind of like the investigating brain of the team. So anyway, and his little SUV. So anyway, here we go. The background, I decided to cheat. And instead of actually drawing city, buildings, which I tend to draw pretty boring rectangular buildings, it's been ages since I took any architecture classes. I mean, like when I was a teenager. Um, so what I did was I actually just stole different buildings from different cities. There's like 3 different cities back in here. There's this warehouse thing here, which got a lot of jaggies. I don't even know where I got that from. Um, I don't know what city that the warehouse is from, but that's okay. Some of these are New York. Some of them are not New York because I didn't really pay attention to where they all came from. I'm pretty sure this was New York. Pretty sure yes, New York. Don't know about the rest. And I composited them together for like a kind of a fictional city, just like they did for those Batman movies. Remember those? Remember those? Um, he was in a different city like every movie. So like Batman Begins, I think it was a mix between Chicago and Boston. Dark Knight, I think it was Chicago pretty much. And in Dark Knight Rises, I believe he spent a lot of time in New York. I mean, it was all Gotham City, but that's where they filmed. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to start with the brush pen today. I love using this brush pen. You can get quite the variety of points on it, from thick to thin. I did a warm up a little while ago to make sure the pen was working okay. If you don't use these every day, they start gumming up. Oh my gosh, sorry, there's a little eraser things on there. So yeah, if you don't use them every day, then they start to get really kind of funky. But you can get some pretty thin lines, and you can get some pretty thick lines. So it just depends on how you want to use the brush. And I will probably also use this sheet as a kind of like a dabbing sheet to blot my brush. Yes, some kind of made type person. I didn't pencil. I just started sketching with pens, Micron and the brush pen. I don't know. Would you actually trust her to clean your house? I don't know if she has a trustworthy face. So anyway, so that was my warm up a little while ago. All right, let's see if I can do this without messing something up, because talking and doing art at the same time is actually not as easy as it seems. So here, I'm going to start with his. Cape. Because, yeah, when you're trying to follow a line and you're trying to talk at the same time, you're probably not paying as close attention to the line as you should have. And I should have done the other side first. Okay. So sometimes those lines I was talking about, those vertical striations in the video here, sometimes they seem to go faster than other times. It's actually starting to bug me. Now, I have a desk lamp. It's an LED. And I have 2 other ones. I have a feeling I'm going to turn them off. I have a feeling that their frequency is what's messing up. Yeah, I see. There you go. Again, I don't know if you can see it or not. So now my table's not as bright. That's sad. But I think you can still see most everything. Oh, let me give you a little bit more of a close-up here. Can you see everybody? See if I angle it a little bit more, you can probably see them a little better. I don't want to get too close to the camera either. Okay. Which way do I go? One of the drawbacks to doing something like this is I can't see where my brush is going. Actually getting, sometimes with the bristle board, I actually get a little bit of a blot. It's like a little excess ink that sort of bleeds off into the bristle board. It's kind of annoying. See, I got a nice thick line on that one. So Captain Nation, or whatever his name will end up being, he's obviously not a very happy camper. They know the plot. They know what's going on. They know what's at stake. But, again, they're not very happy about it, so he is coming down with some force there. I got a really thin line there, didn't I? See, this is why I like using the brush pen. I'm talking really quietly. Not like it's going to affect the art. It's not like a cake. It's going to it's going to fall if I talk too loudly. There we go. Gotta move something up here. There we go. All right, Captain. Let's do your hair. He is obviously the Superman type. So I even gave him the curly Q. If you're just joining me, actually, there's no one here, so you're not joining me. I was going to sort of reintroduce me. I'm Dale. I actually have a full-time job. I would love to do comics or art full-time, but never was in a position for it to actually pay the bills. I'm not going to do all the tiny detail with the brush. I'll actually finish some out with the microns. So, for example, gotta be careful when putting it in there. I hate it when I miss, and then the brush tip becomes this terrible frayed mess. It takes forever to fix, but it is fixable. I'm just using the, or is it 0.005 micron? Okay. I think that about does it for his face for the moment. I'll come back to it in a little while. Back to the brush pen. This guy is really bulky. You ever wonder how superheroes work out? How do they get that bulk? The Incredibles. Mr. Incredible. Yeah, come on, you. That little line got funny. Mr. Incredible was bench pressing locomotives. That seems completely reasonable. Bench pressing locomotives. Need something heavy. So let's make that black. A lot of black in there. Sorry, gang, I am quiet. I'm like in the zone at the moment. It's actually going. Pretty well there. There we go. Since I have no people watching me live at the moment, I'll ask this. Ask this of future viewers. Feel free to put in the comments. What inking techniques do you have? Do you like inking? Some people don't like inking. It's kind of cool. I don't mind it. I'm not the greatest at it. Chunks of the pavement. He's knocking out. I mean, he's landing with such force. He's actually knocking out chunks of the pavement. Oh my gosh! I actually went over the line there. In art, it's not really the biggest deal if you go over a line, but sometimes I just don't like to to do it. Go over the line. Okay. Oh my gosh. There we go. Gotta clean that up a little bit. I've seen some YouTube videos of people inking. In particular, fast forward, and it's fun to watch someone ink fast forward. I'll have to see if I have a copy of this. I'll do a fast forward version for Instagram. That'd be kind of cool. You probably just saw me call an audible. For some reason, when he landed, I had his thumb sideways, but it seems to make more sense that he'd probably have his thumb down. There we go. You guys might be surprised what I use to do like larger black areas. I don't really want to waste the ink on a pen like this. The reason for that is because these pens have ink cartridges. They're actually not terribly expensive to purchase. Yeah, I got that much ink left. At Amazon, you can get the Kuretake number 20. I believe it's $7 for 15 vials. It's actually not bad. A vial will take you, I don't know, quite a while. Quite a while to go through. We'll come back and do some of this with the Micron. Oops, there's some more debris there. This is the interesting thing. Well, I don't know if it's interesting or not, but it's actually behind her. She's so tiny looking. Her name is Mouse. There's a reason her name is Mouse. Oops. Got a little overzealous with that line. Oh, that was way too thick. Blotting time. Especially when you draw thicker lines, you'll get an extra buildup of ink in the tip. So if you want to keep thinner lines, try to get that extra ink out. More little bits of concrete floating around. This one's floating in front of her. Oh yeah, I was doing his knee. Yeah. Sometimes you're penciling something. That looks okay. You don't see it until you start inking it. That foot actually looks pretty gigantic. tricep, bicep, forearm. Whoa, thick. Should be the other way around. Show the thinner line on top. That should have been a little better. Do a little micron work with him. Going back to my 005. I sort of do border lines like that, just from habit. Makes it a little bit neater. Try to keep the hash marks consistent with the area, like the direction I'm shading. Because the contour of his leg will obviously be this way, so I'm going to keep those that way. Oops, I put another mark on there. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Okay. Oh, that's right. His costume. He's got like a kind of a biker pants. There. He's got a star. Okay. All right. This is where some of you are going to get your minds blown because I know some people would absolutely hate using Sharpies. Um, I think the main complaint is that if you're going to be doing color work on the paper, it will bleed with the alcohol markers. Some people tell me it's got kind of a blue tint to it. When I scan this in and send it off to Anton for coloring, it's black because it's oh, didn't really clarify that line there. I think that was just like, yeah, I'll leave the star there. Yeah, because when I'm scanning, I'll just use black and white only. That's why the blue lines don't show up on non-photo blue. I suppose if I wanted to color on paper, what I can do is I can actually just print a copy of my inking and avoid any possible smearing. But the reason I like Sharpie is because it actually can get into fine spaces. This one's a little bit older, so it's got kind of a duller tip. It can get into those fine spaces. That's what I'm getting at. And it lasts forever. I mean, I can do like 100 pages on a single Sharpie. And I went to Costco and I got like a 20 pack. So I got like 20 of these things. Okay, I think that is mostly what I'm going to do with him. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit more. He should have some more. Let me have that go down here. The light source, I'm not really focusing on the light source at the moment, but the light source should be sort of up and to the right of them. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned I did the convention last month. I liked it. I'll do more. Oh, I don't like that shin bone though. Okay. I met some good people at the convention. It was a lot of fun. Hard work though. I mean, it's a lot of energy you spend just trying to talk to people and standing there at your booth. And depending on how brave you are, I mean, some people actually leave their booth and they'll go exploring and leave their booth empty. It's like, don't you worry, you're going to miss anybody. Oh, I should have it connected there. That was kind transition. There. Kind of works. Ooh, I had something going on here with my blue lines, but I think I'm going to leave that. I got shadows out here. More reasonable to have something in the middle there, I think. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm no Terry Austin, but hey. And I probably just aged myself. There's probably like 100 other guys I could have compared myself to just now. That's been more contemporary. Because I'm sure Terry Austin's retired nowadays, right? Is he still alive? Actually, I don't know. Why am I whispering again? That is so funny. I keep whispering. Why do I whisper? Oh, you know what? Back to the micron for a minute. Like Batman and Robin. To the micron. This is like kind of a broken side of a concrete, where some of those are like the flat areas. So actually, I should probably do the same over here. Sharpie time again. If I have a large area, I'll just mark it with X's and I'll just black it out in the computer. But if I really, really, really want to do it, I've got the super Sharpie that I can cover large swaths of area. Okay. Who's next? Let's do Mouse, since she's like right there. She's actually in front of him. Now, he's obviously your Superman type. Yeah, I'm actually not liking this right here. Here. I'm going to get let's see, I have a 7. Believe it or not, I have a Copic. I have a bunch of Copics. I like them for a few reasons. Clean that up with a thicker pen right there, both sides. Unlike Micron, oops, you don't throw these away. They're metal, and you pop this out, and you take the ink out, and you put new ink in. It's just a little tube with like foamy stuff inside, and I've actually had some pretty good success just dripping some Repetograph ink into the cartridge and throwing it back in. So again, less throwing things away, because someday they're going to look at our landfills. They're going to do like a core sample, and they're going to say, like, what are all these yellow microns? Or these drugs that people injected in themselves? That's of course assuming this is far enough in the future where Micron doesn't exist anymore. But like, everybody uses Micron. I was watching what's that show with Ozzy, the rock star Ozzy, what's his name, and his son. They're doing like a road trip thing in an RV, and Ozzy was just kind of sitting at a table drawing something, and he was using a Micron. It's like, how interesting. friend. I have a friend who holds his pen differently. I've seen some people hold it like a pencil. I kind of put it up a little bit more like this. I don't know. It gives me, I feel more range. I don't know. And then I have a friend I saw just today, as a matter of fact. I think he holds it like that, and he's inking like that, and that fascinates me. Whatever's comfortable, whatever works. Oh my gosh. Let's go lower. Let's make a shadow there. Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, let's see here. She's got emotional eyes. She's not like a hardened. Wait for the airplane to go by. Can you hear that? They're pretty loud. Yeah, she's not like a hardened superhero type. Kind of a sweet girl who has powers, who wants to put them to use. Do the right thing. Let's see. Sorry. And then, yeah, so she's kind of thin. I think I have it a little thicker than I should here. If we go back to the cover art, kind of a thin girl. Let's see here. Once again, just sort of a tease the line. I'll come back to it on a micron later. Later on, because I feel like I'm really slow, but later on when I do the buildings, I won't use the brush in the buildings. I'll just use microns. Oh, yeah, I was saying before, I composited these. I just didn't want to do boring squares like I would draw because I am not an architect. And there are some pretty interesting buildings coming around these days. Architecture is actually taking a interesting turn. Because for a while it was pretty much square buildings, just like pretty boring. But if you've seen some of the stuff that's coming out now, this one here, for example, it's hard to tell here from the art. It's sort of square, but sort of not square. These are kind of rounded corners, angled top. I saw one the other day that that has just like those old anime cartoons. It was narrower on top and it widened at the top and went up. Um, I think that was in Dubai. I think a lot of times people don't want to pay for the cost of something like that, the cost of a structure, because if you're going to be challenging your engineering teams, then yeah, it's going to end up costing you a ton to build a building like that. That's why in Dubai, where they have money to burn, oopsie, getting kind of low on my screen here too. I mean, it's like the Las Vegas of the Middle East, right? So they got money to burn, and so they have all these fascinating architect designs for their high rises. Come on, pen. It was being a little greedy with the point there. And then you have places like the U.S. where some people are saying, "Oh, hey, we got to catch up. Those are too nice." And then you're starting to get interesting designs. I mean, that's kind of square, but it's got stuff jetting out from the side here. But it's got different kinds of lines to it. It's got a break in the middle here. I don't even know what these large boxy areas are. Incomplete parts? I don't know. Yeah, I think everybody knows the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. That one is really fascinating. It's pretty simple in design, but well, actually, it kind of looks like a giant dildo. Pardon the expression. I hope I don't have to put adult content warning on my video now. He's talking about sexual toys. But yeah, it kind of does. Salesforce. Probably finish this with a micron. Coop. Yeah, when I get that box in the middle there, it's going to be a micron. As you can see from her terrible line, her costume, it's actually kind of a dark blue. So I'll probably have a lot more black in her costume, shading wise. Again, probably should have done it with micron. Okay. Let's get her hand. Her other one's actually going to be behind her. Oh, and so her thing is that she does a sort of teleport thing. She's not super strong. She sort of appears where she wants to. And that's what this is. This is like not a fire, but almost like a smoke. It's like she's how would you say, causing like causing a chemtrail. She just has this atmospheric thing happen whenever she does it. Okay. So I think I'll just do this. There. Okay. Got her in a good spot. I'm gonna probably put more black on her in a second. But I want to put some more detail into her. I think it was if you bought the old How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, they used to have this thing where they'd say, never draw the woman's eyelashes. I never understood why. Maybe it was like a 70s thing, because that came out in the early 80s. And so maybe they like the fake eyelashes or something like that. Okay. One of the things I learned with small tip pens, you probably ruin the nib. Oops. I'm down the bottom of the screen again. Probably ruin the nibs, because as you're drawing and you accidentally take a turn somewhere, you'll end up like pushing it. I did that just a moment ago. It's like that. I was continuing my line up, and that's essentially I was pushing it. That's not good. Shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, here we go. Kind of worked. Okay. Probably end up making that black anyway. All right. I think for the most part, I'm satisfied with her. Yeah, come in with some Sharpie action here. Oh, so I was gonna Sharpie this. If I Sharpie this down here, then I don't think I'll be able to leave a contour line. So let's pull out my number 7 again. Here we go. So it's been about, I can't believe it's been 55 minutes already. Chatting and talking. Hope you guys who end up watching this are having as much fun as I am, because I always love art. Ugh. Oh, and if any of you happen to know, if you have better luck than I do with these, because a lot of times that actually turned out really well that time. A lot of times this just ends up like not covering like a little error. It'll end up like smudging or graying out the that person. Actually, I'm gonna make that line that you try to correct. Okay, that's better. So yes, she just kind of popped in place in front of what's his name here. Again, she's not a very big person. I'm just gonna kind of. And yes, I'm drawing the lines into her because it's sort of like she sort of steps through it. I have one there, but I don't remember where it went. It's so funny. Yeah, I went kind of crazy with that one. Okay, here we go. Let Anton work his magic and his imagination on that. He's a really good colorist. I think I've mentioned this before. Um, he's actually in college. He's earning his degree there. He has a history degree, and he is going for an art degree right now. I think his goal was to become a teacher, but he loves comics, and so I like his stuff. I hired him to work on my comics, as you most of you should know about Raising Cane. If you're here, you probably heard from one of my Raising Cane channels. Okay. Oh, see, like a pencil. Come on, pen. Don't be funny. Oh my. With the thick lines again. Songbird. Okay. What's going on here? Songbird does not have super strength. She's kind of vulnerable, much like Mouse. Kind of vulnerable. What she does, though, is when she sings, people have to tell the truth. Well, let me rephrase that. If she sings a question, you feel compelled to just confess. That's her thing. She's sort of a psychological element to the team. But because she doesn't have like super strength or whatnot, they have to really watch her, make sure she doesn't get into trouble and that they can't get her out of. Okay, so kind of a funny thing is happening here with her. Probably can't see it. But as I draw it, her eyes are actually looking down at the captain. She's right behind him. He actually landed right in front of her, making that mess. And she was already walking. So that was kind of rude of him. She's got her hands up like, whoa. Okay. Athena is not exactly your Wonder Woman type. She might be considered kind of a mix between say a Shazam and Shazam and a Wonder Woman. Let's put it that way. Okay. I keep getting quiet with my chatting, so I hope I'm not putting people to sleep, because I should just be, conversing. Okay. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, you just put a songbird in front of somebody and say, hey, we need to question this guy. All she has to do is sing a few verses of whatever it is that she wants to sing. If I were a little better at like coming up with prose on the spot, I would probably do a little song for you. Hang on here. But I am not. Being super quiet while I do the mouth and the nose, because I'm doing a lot of this with the brush pen, which, again, the brush pen is pretty versatile. Got some pretty thin lines there. But as you've seen a couple times now, one false move and I can totally flub a line. The good news is, since I've penciled this and I've scanned it, if something bad happens, I mean really bad, I can always just print a new blue sheet out. eyes. A little bit of a incredulous mouth there. Like, whoa. Dude, watch yourself. Okay. Songbird emblem on her chest. Bum, bum, bum. Sometimes your mind plays a trick, at least on me, where you don't think you need to put any more lines in because you now see the blue, like there. And then later on, you maybe scan it and you're putting it in the computer and making sure it's ready to go. And then you see this area. It's like, wait a second, I knew I had lines there. You go back and look. It's like, oh, nope, just blue lines. That should probably do. Put a few hash marks in there. Somewhere else. I totally thought I was going to put some more in. Totally forgot where that is. Okay. Okay. The brush marks up here in her hair, I don't think really. There's another style of things that people are doing. I say people that you can see online. They have, they'll draw with the micron first. And then instead of using a brush or whatnot, they'll use a thicker micron to do the lines. And I think that in part comes from. So I'm going to go back to his nose here for a second. I think in part that comes from computer usage. Like if people are doing their art on the computer, they don't always have a clean brush stroke, right? Because not using an actual brush, or in my case, they're not using a brush pen. And so it's sort of a way to fake the variety in the lines, I guess you could say. It looks clean, looks nice. Okay, so 3 of the 5 down. Let's see. Athena. Oh, here. Actually, let me demonstrate real quick. I'll bring over my blotter here, my test sketch. So someone might, for example, oh gosh, I'm just going to draw like a little fist here. So they'll do their drawings. I've seen this with pros as well as just people on the internet. And I'm drawing this really small, which is not very fair. But you got yourself a fist, and we'll say a glove. I'll even put like a seam on it. There we go. All right, and then they'll grab something like maybe like a fat number 5, and now all of a sudden you have line variety. Make sense? And you can even just like here. So you get more line variety out of it. You got thin lines inside, thicker lines outside. Again, it's not exactly like doing brushwork, because you can, with one brush, you can do, as you've already seen, a whole lot of different lines. Oh, you know what? Got something that's bugging me on Songbird here. Let me pull out my fat number 7. Whatever I do with my number 7. Here. This is her rib cage, and I think, because I don't have the complementing part on the other side. The little bit of sunlight hitting the rib cage. I'm gonna ponder on that for a minute and see if I want to. Yeah, I don't know. That's not very convincing. Well, not terrible. We'll see. I might not like it later, and then I might cover it up. Okay, Athena. I have no real backstory for any of these guys. Like I said, just working on the script right now. So, okay, let me dab a little bit here. When you're drawing or inking, do you have any place you start? I tend to start with the head. The head sort of sets the tone for the rest of the piece. Plus, it's also the scale in which you might draw a figure. Oh my gosh, what the heck was that brow? See what my pen is doing right now? It was pretty good earlier, but now it doesn't want to draw thin lines. It just wants to throw that ink out there. That confuses me. So after all I just said about like the variety you can do with a brush pen, Now all of a sudden my brush pen is punishing me. That was a better line. Oops, 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 oops. I almost drew past her cape. Her cape also comes in here. And you also notice, along with this rebellion that it's doing, you can see the ink is actually bleeding out, and it hasn't done that just a hair like on her shoulder here. But for the most part, the brush has been pretty clean. Could be a flaw in the paper. It's hard to say, but the paper actually might not have as much cohesion there, because it's supposed to be kind of like I wouldn't say glossy, but it's got a very smooth, very um, uh, no, I almost said sheen, not even a sheen. It's kind of a smooth feel to it. Um, yeah. Okay, hang on. Since I apparently messed up my blue line, this is the beauty part of having a scanner and then doing these in steps. See, if I were inking my actual penciling, well, first of all, then you'd lose your penciling, right? But in this case, I can go back and see what I intended to do with her right there. So pretty straightforward. The line, let me use my little pencil pointer here. The line comes off of this like flap up here, and it arcs around then to go back to their side. So it's just silly that I didn't catch that when I put the background in. So look at that, put the building right over her skirt. So it comes off of this right here. This I don't know, wrinkle. How would you call that? And then I'm gonna come around there, and then like that. Pretty straightforward. That actually works pretty well. Okay. Do the thigh. Oops, come on. Calf. As opposed to Captain Nation. I don't know. You say that fast enough, it actually sounds like something different. Um, she is gliding in. She's showing a bit more reserve. See the expression I can get on that pen right there? Oops. If you hear me say whoops, it's because a line didn't go the way I had anticipated it to. Given her leg is about that long, her foot about that long, I'm actually going to make her foot kind of stick out a little bit more. Okay. A bit of shadowing in there. I'm leaving a lot of ink behind. Yep. There we go. Okay. Sorry, gang. Ah, so I think I stated earlier when I do the buildings, I always use the microns. Excuse me. I won't mess with trying to brush them because that would be kind of silly. The thing with a brush is you really want to use that for more organic lines. So when you get to mechanical lines, and this is true even when I do like raising cane. So when you do mechanical lines, stick to um, the solid pens. Okay. All wild in her hand. There we go. I've got my thin lines back. It's like the pen gave up. It rebelled and it gave up. Yeah, she's angry too. You can see the anger in her face. Oopsie, that line went way out. It works. Still works. Okay, there we go. at that convention last month. I got to meet Lou Ferrigno. That was pretty cool. David Gerald. Talked to him for just a minute. I didn't talk to him very long. And then met the guy who created ElfQuest. Dirk Benedict, Starbuck from the original Battlestar Galactica. Got to meet him. Such a nice guy. He actually just wanted to talk about real estate. It's pretty funny. He told a few good stories, though. I actually got to meet them. I made a fuss a little while ago about people who leave their booths. I had a friend with me, so my booth was always manned if I was there or not. And vice versa. My friend got to run around too. She actually played Elle, so she was cosplaying Elle from my comic Raising Cane. And she did a great job with that. She was pretty popular with people. Oh, I'm off the bottom of the screen here. So sorry. One of my bad habits, partially with posture, is that I'll be drawing, and all of a sudden, as my posture gets worse, I start dragging the page down with me. And sadly, what you didn't see there was I was just putting some detail in on the heels of the lady's boots. There we go, stuff like that. Let's see, Athena. There we go. Okay, so there's some dark spots here. Shading I should have put in. A few more details with her face I can do with the micron. The eyelashes that I'm drawing individually. So it's just small enough that you really can't tell. And that nose didn't turn out too badly. Do the Hollywood shoulder thing. Do you guys know about that? In Hollywood, I'm a loss for words here. Actresses will do this thing where, oh, there's a glove over here. They'll do this thing where they probably want to augment their chest, so they'll actually hunch their shoulders in. And pardon me while I get a drink of water. Talking for an hour and a half, and I have not wet my whistle yet. And while I do that, I'm also, wondering how much. I didn't really put a whole lot of shading on their legs. She's got the messy wrinkles on her boot, but I'll probably put like a thigh muscle right there. Okay. So when they do that, the shoulders actually rock forward, and you get a little bit of that shadowing right there in front. Because if you're standing with a perfectly good posture, you're not going to have that shadowing in front. But you see it all the time on TV and movies. And so when you're drawing a good picture of a heroine type, then yeah, you're probably going to try to imitate what people expect. So yep, I put that in there. All right, over here on the far side, I'm actually moving over here so it gets a little closer to the center of my screen. Here we go, the Enforcer. Just not the greatest name ever. Like I said, not everyone's name is in stone. Yeah, he's got what's pretty much a combat style helmet. He's got a. I remember I said a while ago about being flexible. A brush is a little more flexible. I probably should be using the micron on him simply because, once again, this is equipment. It's not organic material, so it's not like clothes on top of a body. It's not going to flow as much, so I probably should be doing that. In fact, maybe I'll switch over. In fact, that might be kind of a neat diametrically opposed, like, to these guys who are a little more organic. This one's going to be a little bit more like my fist example from before. So let's get that a shot. So yeah, he's got like a respirator thing going on here. He's got a body armor thing. See, this would not have looked great with a brush pen. Okay. I've gotten quiet again. He's got stuff everywhere. He's like I said, kind of the Batman. He's got gadgets and pouches and all kinds of stuff. It would not surprise me if he has shark repellent. Yes, that was a jab at the Batman movie from the 1960s. I'm sure everybody knows what that is all about. Okay. Whoopsie. There, I did it again. I'm not even sure what I'm drawing right there. It works. Okay. Speaking of Batman, what's the best Batman game you've ever played? I really did enjoy Arkham Asylum. I had a hard time getting into Arkham City. Don't know why. I don't have an explanation for you on that. Arkham City was just, I don't know. Kind of more the same, but yet it didn't feel like we got to, forgive the phrasing here, it didn't seem like we got to keep all the things we got from Arkham Asylum. Um, there was sort of like a new learning curve, and like when you play a sequel, I don't know if I really want new learning curves. They say some people get bored with the same. Hang on, sorry. He's actually just getting out of his car. This SUV thing, which I have at an angle, but it still seems smaller than it should if he's going to have like a bunch of like weapons and stuff on board. You know what? Oh my gosh. I didn't pay attention to my lines. Oops. Sorry. Sorry, gang. I'd be so fired as an inker. There you go. Actually, it's better lines than the original. I'll do that. I'll just like say, hey, I don't like the look of that, and I'll change what I just did. Got to be a first aid pouch in there somewhere. I think it's a flashlight pouch right here. Ooh. Yes, I realize I just drew my lines. go. He's like 70% done. And they're real boots. He's got a lot of armor on because, again, he's not a superhero. It goes right off the edge of my safe zone. Okay. Let me call back my number 7. Give me your number 7. Oh, am I down low again? There we go. I was thinking about doing these webinars maybe twice a month. I'm sorry, I just called it a webinar. What am I doing? That line's got to go. They should have come straight down. Live stream. Do a live stream twice a month in general. Might do Raising Cane. Might do something else like this. I've been doing some posters. Next time I do a show, next time I do against some of the characters that I have, Raising Cane, and some that I don't know. I was working on Whoa! Hey, there you go. That's what the ink thing looks like. Just came popping out. I tried to take my cap off the back end. There's like a little wire that comes out of the nib, goes into that little hole there. It's funny. 2 hours later, I finished that little bit of conversation. Okay, good. Now I am going to do a little bit more hashing. Let's see. There we go. Now I'm going to pull out the number 5. Ta-da! We're going to do what I was talking about a little while ago. I'm going to start to put a thick line on him. Generally just an outline. Have a thick line up here already. There we go. Oops. See now, giving him some bulk, some life. When I was younger, I used to draw all my comics by hand. Well, yes, I'm drawing by hand now, but all I mean is I would color them by hand. Everything would be by hand. And so if I did an outline like what I did here with the smaller pen, all the hash marks and such, the coloring would then make it look more complete. So I get it all around, pretty much all around. I'm going to there. See, I can actually get a nice variety of line. Doesn't have to be quite as thick as everything else. With these fatter pens, you can just do the light touch, kind of like with a brush. Let me fix a couple things here. Where is my white pen? Here we are. I actually don't like that line there. Not supposed to be there. There we go. Okay. Only got a few minutes left in this webinar. Wow, it took me 2 hours to do the heroes. What's wrong? Okay. Oh, you know what? I did forget. Let me grab my old number 7. I keep losing my number 7. I have a cup holder. A bunch of stuff in it. There's my number 7. Let me get a couple of these spots I missed here. And yeah, number 7 is just nice and thick. Gets a nice line. Oh yeah. The goggles. I want to do something with goggles, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Something like that. Yep. 5. Okay. There we have it. Let me get my 7 again. That is so funny. I keep losing my 7 so fast. Why was I going to get my 7? I forget why I was going to get my 7 now. I think I was going to do this. There. That's pretty good. Ta-da! Yeah, what I was going to do, I actually thought I'd get through these guys in the first hour, but sometimes talking and then gesturing while I'm talking doesn't always produce good artwork times. So here we go. What I was going to do with the rest of the time was I was actually going to take just my 0.5. I don't want the background to outclass the foreground, so I'm not going to put in the black areas. I'm going to leave coloration completely to Anton. But what I was going to do was I was going to start with the outlines first. And then just start fleshing out the buildings. I'm going to leave this for later because we don't have a whole lot of time. So the warehouse I'll leave for later. I'll just kind of play around with this first building here. Hello. and pretty straightforward. That I have to go back to the original source picture, but that totally looks flat up here. These look like literally straight lines. So it doesn't need to be perfect. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. See right here? This is the first curve right there. That's the first curve. And I blew it. I say it doesn't need to be perfect. I don't want it to look like I am drawing an actual, or it doesn't. I don't want it to look like I'm tracing an actual building. I'm just using this as my muse, as it were, an example of the building. Can you hear that? I don't know. This microphone. Some people say when I talk to people with this microphone, this headset, that they can hear all kinds of background noises. And I hear my dog outside my door whining. She can probably hear my voice. And she's like, "Why don't you come out and play?" Of course, it's just about dinner time here on the West Coast. But you get the idea. This is what I'll do with the rest of this picture is just go through and just start dealing with all the details. Oh my gosh, this building's got a lot of details, a lot of cross lines and such for those windows. You ever notice that some architects will do that? They'll have these literally these crisscrosses, on the window. It's very bizarre. Breaks up the pattern, I guess. Looks nice. Oh gosh, this could take a while. Again, I'm not looking for perfection. Comic books are an expressive art. Sometimes I think when somebody goes and just tries to make it look picture perfect, that's what you do with animation, or that's what you do with movies. I mean, we have superhero movies now that look fantastic. We don't have to have comic books that look total real to life. This is sort of it's a fantasy world. They seem to stop right here, so I'm gonna just kind of draw this line here. I'll have to probably fix. Oops, I really should have thought that through and drawn it all the way down. There we go. So I'd have to fix all these guys because it would just go that. Oops. Yeah, sometimes I make sound effects when I draw. Any other artists out there do that? And then, of course, later on, not as I go like this, but later on, I'd probably just get my white pen and fix a couple of those little weird lines. But we're literally in the last few minutes of this webinar today. So you get the idea. I'll just continue doing something like this for the rest of the page. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Since I really didn't get anybody to kind of stop in and say hi in the actual broadcast, if you're watching this afterwards, yeah, let me know in the comments. You want to see me continue with this picture? Should I work on it on my own and do something different next time? Yeah, let me know. I want to hear from you. And also, like I said, I don't have to go into great detail. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 general columns of these lines. So I don't know. It's not too bad. stuff like that. I don't have to get terribly detailed. Oh, look, there's like a, actually it looks like a cannon. But I'm pretty sure it's the window washer gear up the top there. I have no idea what that is, but I'll just leave it there. Yeah, see? And so that's how it'll go. I might redo the outline in a thicker pen. I might just leave it like that. Let Anton work his magic. He's got some really, really good brushes he uses for skies and stuff. Well, I showed you this a while ago, right? Look at that almost like a watercolor, almost like a fog, really. So, yeah, he could do skies really nicely. Yeah, let me know if you would want this made to clean your house. And I was mentioning before that I was going to start doing a series of posters that would probably bring with me to conventions in the future. I just did this Wonder Woman the other day. Anton is coloring it right now. I did a really simple shape for the background, really nothing too extraordinary. Let me stand it upright so you can kind of see. Actually, how do I stand it upright where the camera sees it? That's a pretty good angle right there, right? Right there. There we go. Now I have it all in the camera. Yeah, so she's tall, statuesque, like Wonder Woman should be. I was just sketching some poses for a Spider Woman, because we don't see a lot of her anymore. She was really popular late 70s, early 80s, and yeah, she kind of like disappeared in favor of a lot of these other Spider Girls, Spider Gwen, and the other recent kind of incarnations. Thanks for watching my video, and I will do this again soon. I don't have a schedule set just yet. In fact, that's another thing. In the comments, tell me what times are good for you. I started this at 3 p.m. Pacific, which would be dinner time on the East Coast. Could be great dinner time entertainment for some people. 6 o'clock over there. Come visit me at my social medias and buy my stuff. D.Harden art. So I've got the first 2 issues of Raising Cain on indieplanet.com, patreon.com if you want to see new pages go live. And I will do at least one of these just for patrons, one of these live broadcasts just for patrons every month, maybe 2. And Redbubble, I have products there. I haven't updated that in a while. I really got to go and update. It just takes forever to update products there. They have a lot of details I have to go through. Instagram.com/d.hardenart. Follow me there. Facebook.com groups. Oh my gosh, just look for Raising Cain because it's that long, awful number. And Raising Cain Comics at gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me there. Okay. Thanks, everybody. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great week ahead.